Okay, we're starting with the topic of numerical integration. Now, what do you mean by the word numerical integration? We'll be doing integration, but we'll be using numerical techniques. Okay, so there are some methods here which are used as a shortcut to estimate the approximate value of an integral. Okay, in your syllabus, you have 3 different methods which are included here. I'll try to cover all of these 3 methods. I hope every one of you has your calculator with yourself. Okay, so first I'll brief you with these 3 methods. उसके formulas note down करेंगे and उसके बाद हम तीनों के sums देखना चालू करेंगे. Question will be very direct. Question लिख के आएगा use this method and integrate या find the value of the integral. Okay, method का नाम लिख के आएगा exam में. And अगर नहीं लिख के आता है तो how to do it I'll explain that later. Okay, so the first method is, can you see what I'm writing on the screen? So the first method is trapezoidal method. Okay. Now each of the method will have its own formula. You just need to remember the formula and you need to remember the method. Okay, इतना ही याद रखना है. It's a very easy concept. Okay, so पहले तो ये समझते हैं कि यहाँ पे numerical integration में होगा क्या. What will be done here is, at some points, x1, x2, x3 up to xn, finite number of points. Okay, finite number of points होंगे. उस पे आपको function की value दी होगी y1, y2, y3 and so on up to yn. Okay, this will be given to you and you will be expected to calculate the integral here. You'll be expected to calculate the integral here. So let's see how do you calculate the integral using your, okay, this is x and this is the value of fx. So ऐसा एक table format दिया होगा आपको question में हमेशा. ये values given होंगे. Using trapezoidal rule आप कैसे use करोगे इसको? So trapezoidal rule का formula है the integral. Limits दिए होंगे from a to b fx dx. Okay, this would be equal to h upon 2. Now, what do you mean by h over here? I'll explain all of these one at a time. Okay, x plus 2r. This is a short form. Exam में short form नहीं लिखना है, exam में full form लिखना है. So, what is the full form? Okay, so the full form goes like this: h upon 2. X is the extreme terms, so y0 and yn होगा. Okay, so when I say y0 and yn, and my data will start with x0 and xn, x0 and y0, then x1 and y1. Okay, plus 2 times remaining terms का addition, मतलब remaining is y1, y2 up to yn minus 1. h is the distance between consecutive x. ये जो difference होगा उसको हम h बोलेंगे and ये difference हमेशा equal होगा. Okay, ये difference हमेशा equal होगा. Means if x0 and x1 के बीच में 2 का gap है तो x1 x2 के बीच में भी 2 का ही gap होगा. हर बार आपके पास 2 का gap ही रहेगा. Okay, whatever is the gap. Like 2 है तो 2 रहेगा, 5 है तो 5 रहेगा. Throughout it is going to remain the same. This is okay with all of you? यहाँ तक clear है? Is the trapezoidal rule understood? Yes or no? Did you understand? Okay, so let's understand this better with the help of an example. Let's start with the sum based on trapezoidal rule.
Yes, miss.
Okay, so we'll start with the question based on trapezoidal rule here. The question goes like this. Evaluate integral of 0 to 1 under root of sin x plus cos x dx using trapezoidal rule for the following data. बी नाउ यू कैन ऑब्जर्व क्वेश्चन में मेथड का नाम लिख के आ चुका है, कौन सा मेथड यूज करना है, इट इज वेरी 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 क्लियरली मेंशन्ड है, ठीक है। एंड लेट्स सी व्हाट्स द डेटा गिवन टू अस। ओके, सो द डेटा गिवन टू अस इज x एंड y की वैल्यूज। x की वैल्यू लोअर लिमिट से स्टार्ट होगी एंड अपर लिमिट पे एंड होगी। So 0, 0.2, 0.4, 0.6 and 0.8. It has to end at the upper limit, which is 1. You can see the lower limit, upper limit, lower limit, upper limit. Also observe difference between the values of x. कितना है difference आपका हर एक value में x के? What is the difference in the values of x? Yes, students.
0.2.
Correct, 0.2. तो ये जो 0.2 जो difference है, that is your value of h. Yes, 0.2 is your value of h. Is this okay? Fine. Now the values of y are given to you, नहीं दिया है तो आपको ये जो function है, you have to estimate the value of the function at all of these points. Square root of sin x plus cos x. Of course, you can use your calculator for that. But yes, the values are given to us. It's given as 1, 1.0857. Okay, 1 minute. Let me check. Oops. Yeah, 0.857, 1.448, 1.1790, 1.891, and lastly 1.1755. Okay, ये values हमारे पास given है. Question is very clear. You're expected to use trapezoidal rule. So we require the value of h. H is going to be 0.2. किसी को कोई doubt कि h की value 0.2 क्यों आई है? Everyone is clear why h is 0.2? Anyone?
Yes.
Okay, anyone who wants me to? Okay, fine. So it's basically the difference between, ये difference है, ये वाले जो differences है ना, यहाँ पे, that's your h. Okay, the difference between the values of x. Okay, we got the value of h. Let's write down the formula for trapezoidal rule. So by trapezoidal rule, always make a habit of writing the rule which you're using and uska formula. So by trapezoidal rule, the integral 0 to 1. Okay, let me call this as I, so I don't have to keep writing it repeatedly. So we'll write down the formula first. This integral I would be equal to, formula says h over 2, y0 plus yn, sum of the extreme terms, correct? पहले x था, plus 2 times remaining term. Okay, यहाँ पे remaining terms कितने हैं? पहले तो ये अगर y0 है, ये y1, y2, y3, y4, तो ये y5 है. So here I will have y0 plus y5 plus 2 times y1, y2, y3 and y4. Any doubts? How did I write this? Was clear with everyone? Yes, please.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
fine. Let's substitute the values. h की जगह 0.2 divide by 2, y0 की जगह पे 1, y5 की जगह पे 1.755, no 1.1755, 2 times 1.0857, 1.44, no it is 1448, I wrote it wrong here, 1.179 and lastly 1. Okay, this is also 18. Okay, now after this we are expected to use a calculator. So I had told you to keep your calculators with yourself. Fix your calculator to 4 decimal. I'm going to compute. So I put it into computation mode. Can you see the calculator or no? I think you cannot see the calculator.
No,
Yeah?
ma'am.
Okay, wait, I'll change the presentation style. Now is the calculator visible
Yes.
along with the screen?
Yes.
Okay, so 0.2 divided by, okay, I'll take upon here, and it's 0.2 upon 2 bracket 1 plus 1.1755 plus 2 times 1.0857 plus 1.1448 plus 1.179 plus 1.1891. Closing both the brackets. This is your answer, 1.1373. Did you get the same value? Did you get the same
Yes,
value?
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So 1.1373. And that completes your sum of trapezoidal rule. Simple?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and I had fixed my calculator at 4 decimal places. I had taught you how to fix your calculators. So I hope you know how to fix your calculators, right? आता है सबको calculator fix करना?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, we have fixed the calculator and therefore हमारा answer जो है वो भी 4 decimal places में आ रहा है. Is the trapezoidal rule clear with all of you? Anyone who did not understand?
Yes.
So if the trapezoidal rule is clear, we'll move on to the Simpsons rule, which is your method number 2 of numerical integral. Okay, starting with method number 2, that is Simpsons. There are two methods. Simpsons 1/3 rule, and next we have Simpsons 3/8 rule. Okay, so first we'll note down the formula for Simpsons 1/3 rule. The value of the integral will be again from a to b f of x dx. Again यहाँ पे आपको एक टेबल दिया जाएगा where your values will start from x0 to xn, y0 to yn. Difference between the values of consecutive x will be your h. Okay, so everything else remains the same, just the formula changes. Here it is h by 3 extreme terms plus 2 times the even terms plus 4 times the odd terms. I repeat, when you write it formally, you don't write the shortcut. ये याद रखने के लिए आपको याद रखना है. So y0 plus yn, 2 times even terms का मतलब होगा y2, y4 and so on. Okay, exactly कितने terms हैं हमको नहीं पता, इसलिए I'm putting just dot dot. 4 times odd terms का मतलब होगा y1, y3, y5 and so on. And you close the bracket and complete the calculation. Is the formula clear? Any doubts on the formula? Okay, so let's look at the question here based on Simpson's 1/3 rule. Okay, okay. So the question goes like this. Just give me 1 minute. I'll take a simple question for you guys first and then we'll go for the difficult one. Okay. Who is this incubus? Someone called incubus wants to join. Okay, the question says you have to evaluate the integral 2 to 10. Okay, and you have to evaluate the answer up to 4 decimal places by dividing the range into 8 equal parts using Simpson's 1/3 rule. Using Simpson's 1/3 rule. Is the question visible to all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So अब क्वेश्चन पे ध्यान देंगे. यहाँ पे table is not given to you. The table is not given to you. We will have to construct the table on our own. And h की value भी नहीं दी है, x की value भी नहीं दी है, to be very honest. Okay. What is given to you is आपको ये जो distance है 2 to 10 इसको 8 equal parts में divide करना है. So h will be equal to the upper limit minus the lower limit divided by 8 because I'm expected to divide it into 8 equal parts. So this becomes 8 over 8 which becomes 1. So h की value 1 है. Your x will begin from 2 and y which is equal to 1 upon 1 plus x. Okay, is what we need to calculate. So x is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. X का calculation समझ में आया सबको? X is not given in the question. We have ourselves calculated. Did you understand this? Did you understand how did I get the value of x? Okay, good. Okay. Pradyumna, what we have done is, let's understand the question again. Let's understand the question again. You were supposed to divide this interval into 8 equal parts. Interval कहाँ से कहाँ तक है? 2 से लेकर 10 तक. 2 से लेकर 10 मतलब 10 minus 2, 8 का जो डिस्टेंस है वो आपको 8 इक्वल पार्ट्स में करना है. तो आप डिस्टेंस कितना लोगे 1 का? स्टार्ट कहाँ से करोगे? 2 से. +1 करोगे तो नेक्स्ट 3, +1 करोगे तो 4 एंड सो ऑन एंड सो फोर्थ. 10 तक पहुंचना. Is this now okay with everyone? Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now let's understand how do we calculate the values of y. How do we calculate the values of y? To calculate the value of y, you will again require the calculator. So let's use the calculator here. My first value of x is 2. Is the calculator visible to all of you? Okay. So we have 1 over 1 plus 2. X की जगह पे 2 डालोगे अभी. First value. And we'll take the value in decimal. 4 decimals तक. So 0.33. That was a recurring thing. So 3333. Okay, the first value. Second value के लिए denominator में 2 की जगह पे replace it by 3. It's going to be 1 by 4, which is 0.25. For the next value, let's replace it by 4. So it's going to be 0.2. For the next value, replace by 5. It's going to be 1 by 6, which is going to be 0.1666 or 1667. Next value, replace by 6. So you get 1 by 7, which becomes this value. 4 decimals तक लेना है. 0.1429 we'll take. Again, let's take 7 here. 0.1250. Next value is 8. Calculation समझ में आ रहा है सबको? How is it being done? This is
Yes, ma'am.
0.111. Next is replace by 9. So you get 0.1. And lastly, you replace by 10. So you get 1 over 11, which is 0.099. Okay. So you got the table completed. Table complete होने के बाद question में बोला है Simpsons 1/3 rule. Question में बोला है Simpsons 1/3 rule. So let's apply Simpsons 1/3 rule and find the value of I. I'll call this as I here and let's start with the calculation here. So I is equal to, by Simpsons 1/3 rule, h over 3. पहले extreme values लेंगे तो y0 plus y. Okay, let's label these starting with y0, y1, y2, y3, y4, y5, y6, y7 and y8.
मैम
Yes,
10th के प्लेस पर 0.0909 आएगा ना?
0909 नहीं रिपीट हो रहा था. I think जो आपका रिपीटेशन था वो 9
मैम
को.
0909
ओके
हो रहा है.
ओके 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 माय मिस्टेक. 0909 मुझे लगा 9 ही रिपीट हो रहा है. सो 0909 को हम 0910 ले सकते हैं ना रेकरिंग के हिसाब से.
यस मैम.
ओके एंड जस्ट गिव मी 1 मिनट. Okay, I think things are clear so far.
यस मैम.
ओके सो अब फॉर्मूला में y0 प्लस y8 आ जाएगा. फर्स्ट एंड द लास्ट टर्म लेना है. उसके बाद 2 टाइम्स इवन टर्म्स. अब इवन टर्म्स कौन से बचे हैं? y0 y8 को छोड़ के जो बचे हुए इवन टर्म्स है कौन से आएंगे यहाँ पे? यस प्लीज. You have already utilized y0, you have already utilized y8. Which are the terms remaining now? Even wale.
y2, y4, y6.
Very good. y2, y4 and y6. And 4 times the remaining odd terms. So I have already used y2, y4, y6. Which are the remaining odd terms?
Y1, Y3, Y.
y1, y3, y5 and y7. Is this okay? So now let's start
यस मैम.
substituting the values. h की value 1 है, हमने ऊपर calculate कर ली है. y0 की value 0.3333 है. y8 is 0.0910. 2 times 0.2, 0.1429 and 0.1111. 4 times 0.25, 0.1667, 0.125. This is 1 here. It's looking like 7. And lastly 0.1. Do the calculation and tell me what are you getting here. Do the calculation and tell me what are you getting here.
$1.299.
Correct. 1.2996. I hope Simpsons 1/3 is understood. Also, in this question हमने ये देखा कि टेबल अगर गिवन नहीं है तो कैसे बनाना है. ओके सो क्वेश्चंस इस टाइप के भी आ सकते हैं जहाँ पे आपके पास टेबल इज नॉट गिवन बट यू कैन योरसेल्फ मेक द टेबल. आई होप दैट इज आल्सो क्लियर विद ऑल ऑफ यू.
Yes मैम.
Okay, so now we move on to the Simpsons 3/8 rule, which is your last method of numerical integral as per your syllabus. And उसके बाद एक दो क्वेश्चन ऐसे करेंगे जहाँ पे intervals are not given. So 1 or 2 more difficult questions and then we wind up this topic of numerical integrals. Okay. So now we're going to look at the third method, that is Simpson's 3/8 rule. Now, as the name suggests, यहाँ पे 3 times h by 8 आएगा. Previous was Simpsons 1/3 rule, वहाँ पे h by 3 था. यहाँ पे Simpsons 3/8 में 3 times h by 8 आएगा. Okay. So again, let's look at the formula. Your integral a to b f of x dx 3 times h over 8. Again, you will have extreme terms. 2 times the multiple of 3 and 3 times the remaining terms. This is your formula. So how do we write this? In the formal method, y0 and yn are always the extreme terms. 2 times multiple of 3, matlab y3, y6, y9 and so on. 3 times the remaining terms. अब remaining कौन से बचे? y1 बचा, y2 बचा. y3 is already included, y4, y5 and so on. I hope you're understanding this.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this is your formula. Now using this formula, let's start with the questions. Okay. In an experiment, quantity G was measured as follows. So the values are given. G when at 20 was 95.90. G21 is given as 96.85. G22 is given to you as 97.77. G23 is given as 98.68. G24 is given as 99.56. G25 is 100.41. And lastly, G26 is 101.24. The question is asking you to compute the integral from 20 to 26 of g of x dx using Simpson's 3/8 rule. This is your question. So let's put the data in the tabular format. डेटा टैबुलर फॉर्मेट में नहीं दिया है हमारे पास, इसको टैबुलर फॉर्मेट में डालते हैं. x की वैल्यूज 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 एंड 26 है. gx 95.90, 96.85, 97.77, 98.68, 99.56, 100.41 and lastly 101.24. Okay, let's call this as y0, y1, y2, y3, y4, y5 and y6. Let's write down the formula for Simpson's 3/8 rule. the integral 20 to 26 g of x dx would be equal to 3 times h over 8, starts with y0, ends at y6, 2 times the multiple of 3. Multiple of 3 में जो already गिना है उसको नहीं लेना है. You will not take y0 and y6 there. Okay? So what remains? Which multiple of 3 is remaining now? Which multiple of 3 is remaining?
Y3.
Correct. Only
Y3.
y3. Only y3. सिर्फ एक ही term बाकी है. Okay? Nothing beyond that. Then you'll have 3 times the remaining terms. So y3 is also out. Which are the remaining terms? Which are the remaining terms? Yes, class?
Y1, Y2, Y4, Y5.
Correct. y1, y2, y4 and y5. Let's substitute the values. 3 times h. How much is h here? h की value कितनी है? Yes, please.
1.
Correct. h की
1.
value 1 है. So 3 by 8 बचेगा. y0 की जगह पे we have 95.90. y6 की जगह पे 101.24. 2 into 98.68. 3 into the addition of the remaining 96.85 plus 97.77 plus 99.56 plus 100.41. Come on, do the calculation and tell me what are you getting here. Use your calculators and tell me the answer that you get here.
$591.8513.
Pranav, your voice is breaking. 5 something something you said.
$591.8513.
Okay, 591.8513. And what was your question here? h की वैल्यू 1 कैसे आई प्रद्युम्न? h कहाँ से निकालते हो आप? डिफरेंस बिटवीन द वैल्यूज ऑफ x ना. x के जो टर्म्स है 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, इसके बीच का डिफरेंस कितना है आपका? प्रद्युम्न, मेरा क्वेश्चन आपसे है, h के वैल्यूज में डिफरेंस कितना है? ओके, 1 का डिफरेंस है. समझ में आया ये? हमेशा याद रखना h की जो वैल्यू है वो हमेशा x के बीच का डिफरेंस है. ओके, x हमेशा इक्वल डिस्टेंस हुए होंगे, तभी आप ये जो न्यूमेरिकल इंटीग्रेशन के मेथड्स है वो अप्लाई कर सकते हो. आई होप ऑल दीज 3 मेथड्स आर नाउ क्लियर विद ऑल ऑफ यू.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now once these 3 methods are clear, there is one thing which you need to understand. There will be questions जहाँ पे आपको सिर्फ सिम्पसन मेथड लिखा होगा एंड सूटेबल सिम्पसन मेथड लिखा होगा. ऐसा नहीं लिखा होगा कि भाई कौन सा यूज करना है, 1/3 यूज करना है या 3/8 यूज करना है. ओके, या फिर ऐसे लिख देंगे सिर्फ यूज अ सूटेबल मेथड. तो वहां पे आपको डिस्टिंक्शन क्या याद रखना है? सो दिस इज अ थिंग व्हिच यू नीड टू रिमेंबर. So that's a note. If yn is such that n is even, n is even. So n could be 2, n could be 4, n could be 6, 8, any number. Okay, n is even. Fine. Then you are expected to use Simpson's 1/3 rule. And if yn is such that n is a multiple of 3, so you can say y3, you can have y6, you can have y9, and so on. You're expected to use Simpson's 3/8 rule. What will happen if you have n is equal to 6, 12, 18? ये दोनों category में fall करेंगे. They'll fall in the category of 1/3 also and 3/8 also. What do you do in that case? Yes, please.
3/8 rule.
You can
3/8 rule, ma'am.
you can use any. You can use any. You're free to use any of them. Did you understand?
Yes, हाँ, even.
Okay. अब एक और last question करते हैं and then I will announce that numerical integral is completed. Okay. So एक last question कर लेंगे. उसके बाद of course कुछ questions है जो थोड़े से tricky है which I'll give you first as a trial and then we'll discuss those questions here. Fine. So the question goes like this. Evaluate the integral from 0 to 6 dx upon 1 plus x square using Simpson's 3/8 rule. Also find the error. Also find the error. So let's understand how do we start with this question. Question is very clear. You're supposed to use 3/8 rule. 3/8 rule use करना है मतलब n की value multiple of 3 होनी चाहिए. Either it could be 3 or it could be 6. जब मुझे 0 से 6 दिख रहा है, I would try to take 6 over here. So h would be equal to upper limit minus lower limit divided by 6, which will become 1. So my x will start from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we'll have lastly 6 here. This is okay. My value of y would be equal to 1 upon 1 plus x square. So 1 upon 1 plus 0 will become 1. 1 upon 2 हो जाएगा 0.5. 1 upon 3 हो जाएगा 0.3333, 4 decimal places. 1 upon, okay, not 1 upon 3333, sorry. It's going to be 2 ka square, right? So that's going to be 1 upon 5, which is 0.2. It's this. I have 1 upon 2 square, which is 1 upon 5, which becomes 0.2. The next would be
0.1.
0.1. The next is replace 3 by 4. So that's going to be 1 upon 17, which is, okay, we'll take the first 4 decimals, 0.0589, no, 88. Okay, 0.0588. Next, we'll replace it by 5.
0.038.
Okay. 0.0385. Correct? 4 decimals. And lastly, I'll replace it by 6. So 0.0272 or 3 I can write because of the next number being greater than 5. I hope this is clear. After this, let's apply the 3/8 rule. Let's apply the 3/8 rule. So by Simpson's 3/8 rule, you'll have the integral 0 to 6 dx upon 1 plus x square 3 times h over 8 y0 plus y6 in this case 2 times the multiple of 3 and 3 times the remaining, that is y1, y2, y4 and y5. Is this correct? Yes, please. Have you understood it?
Yes, ma'am.
Substitute the values and tell me the answer. Substitute the values and tell me the answer.
Point 745.
Uh,
1.74.
1.7. चेक 7469 आ रहा है. यहाँ पे कुछ अलग आ रहा है. ओके, ये वाली भी अलग है प्रद्युम्न. Check your values. One point 356. Okay, this is closer, not exact.
1.3572.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting. 1.3571 here. That's correct.
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay, so 1.3571. Others, you need to check your calculation. Yeah, we'll do 3.7 357172 will do. बाकी बहुत ज़्यादा difference आ रहा है तो you need to check your calculation. Okay. Now, why did we take this sum separately? इतना क्या different था? यहाँ पे बोला है check the error, find the error बोला है. So let's see how will we find the error. Error ढूंढना मतलब you will have to actually integrate it. Okay, completely. We'll have to actually integrate it by the normal method. So let's start the integral here. So let's consider the original question, which was integral 0 to 6 dx upon 1 plus x square. See, as I said in the starting, numerical integration जो होता है वो approximate value देता है हमको. ठीक है? It gives you the approximate value. Now we are going to find the actual value. So what is the integral of this term? 1 upon 1 plus x square. ये किसका integral होगा? इसका integral क्या होगा?
Tan
Tan
inverse.
inverse.
Very good. It's
Tan
tan
inverse, ma'am.
inverse of x within the limit 0 to 6. So this is tan inverse of 6 minus tan inverse of 0. इसको कैलकुलेट करने के लिए आपके कैलकुलेटर को रेडियन मोड पे डालेंगे पहले तो. Mine is already in the radian mode. I don't know whether you guys can see it because I cannot zoom it. Can you see my cursor? You guys can zoom it if you're using your calculator screen, okay? It's already in the radian mode. I'll still show you how to fix it in the radian mode. I think we need to go by shift mode. And then you have the option of degree and radian here. So fourth is the radian. So I am in the radian mode here. I'll go for tan inverse. Tan inverse is just about tan. So tan inverse of 6 minus shift tan inverse of 0.
1.4.
1.405.
Correct. 4056. 1.4056. Now the question is asking you the error. Error is a difference. Okay? Error is a difference. So the error over here would be the true value minus the calculated value. And error is always in modulus. मतलब हमारा error जो होगा वो हमेशा positive आएगा. Whichever is bigger. So I'll subtract 1.4056 minus 1.3571. 0.0485. That's your error. Did you understand this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this completes your topic of numerical integration. There are a few more challenging questions, which maybe we'll take it up later. Okay. And the next lecture. And today's lecture, I'll wind it up with only 1 hour. And maybe I'll take some consecutive lectures like this. I hope these lectures are helping you and you can understand it better. Is that correct? Okay. So we'll stop here and maybe the next weekend and after that again, I'll take 1 hour sessions like this. Of course, it will be pre-informed so that we can complete module 6 like this itself. Okay. Yeah, attendance is being marked already. It's already, there's an app which will actually track your attendance time period also. So if there's someone who's just entered and left, they don't get the attendance. Okay. So that is being tracked already. Yes, Rishikesh, it's either the original value minus the estimated value or the other way around. But then modulus है तो आप किसको भी bigger number minus the smaller कर सकते हो. Okay. Yes, Hariom, I'll share the PDF in the Google Classroom and okay. सिद्धार्थ एरर इज द डिफरेंस आपका जो रियल वैल्यू आया है इंटीग्रेट करके और जो आपने एस्टिमेटेड जो न्यूमेरिकल इंटीग्रेशन का मेथड होता है वो आपको एस्टिमेटेड वैल्यू देता है अप्रोक्सीमेट वैल्यू तो दोनों में जो डिफरेंस होता है उसको हम बोलते हैं एरर ठीक है तो हमने जो ट्रू वैल्यू है जो इंटीग्रेशन से मिला है 1.4056 एंड जो हमको सिम्पसन्स मेथड से मिला है 1.3571 इन दोनों को सबट्रैक्ट कर दिया बिगर माइनस द स्मॉलर ऑलवेज सो यू विल गेट द एरर आई होप दीज थिंग्स आर क्लियर I'll
Yes,
be
ma'am.
okay. I'll be providing the recording link in Google Classroom and also the PDF in Google Classroom. Also, you'll get some questions to practice. So you can start practicing these questions and whatever doubts you have, I'll take it up in the next lecture of online session itself, not the offline session. Offline, we'll continue with multiple integrals there. Okay. So we'll stop here. You guys can leave. Yes, Rudra, there is any doubt? Okay, which formula you want to see? I'll give you the PDF, no, Aditya?
And this modulus over or left?
Module is still left.